Anyone who's any kind of a construction person is going to look at this and say, like, what the actual hell is going on?
Right.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it.
Hey, Sea Milk.
Hey guys, I just wanted to welcome you to a new episode of Cribs here. Wanted to show you out one of my new places. I have many homes, but this is just my newest one, as you can see. Beautiful separate villa here in China, very, very expensive. So we can see the barbed wire here, I think adds a nice little touch, nice little pizzazz. This is the beacon that kind of guides me home, you know, when I park the Bentley in the driveway. Very good stuff. Beautiful little Roman type pillars here, and I got the razor wire touch as well. I thought that kind of really livened things up, you know what I mean? I'm kind of an edgy dude.
Speaking of edges,
Yeah.
why is this edge not lining
Oh,
up?
dude, why are you trying to embarrass me?
Oh,
What the hell, man? What are you trying to say about my house?
it's about to fall
In
down.
all seriousness, though, a lot of people, and our patrons, by the way, Winston and I, our patrons asked us if we could do an update on ghost cities. And ghost cities in China, super interesting topic, I think you'd agree, right?
Oh yeah.
And basically they said, you guys rode through the ghost town last time,
Yeah,
right?
got it. Yeah, for sure, we did.
But can you get out and actually, you know, find one?
Well, before we continue, I just wanted to point out the construction quality that's going on here.
Sure.
A little earlier, I was messing around with this just because, and you know, you can pull it apart by hand, and it's actually got wood inside. Look at that, it's wood, or at least some kind of, I'm not quite sure if it's twine or wood or fiberglass or whatever, but this is not a very sturdy structure, and as you can see, half the tiles have fallen off, and it's...
I want you to give them more details of this
Yeah.
place before I tell them how old it is.
Okay, well, I mean, we can look around and you can just look, it's in a very bad state of disrepair. Tiles have fallen off the walls have cracked and are falling down. Actually, there are balconies up there that have collapsed.
Yeah, shit, dude, look at this.
Yeah, balconies up there that have completely collapsed.
Wow.
In fact, roofs that have collapsed, and there's all sorts of things going on. It's in a horrible state of disrepair. Anyway, Sea Milk, did we not see this place actually? Did we not see this place actually get built?
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago. This is before ADVChina.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before it. We were on trips. We go down this main road pretty much every time we go anywhere here for
Yeah.
riding. And this is obviously, you know, this is before we started the channel and everything, but we have seen this place, you know, piece by piece go up. We've seen the familiar cranes setting this up, and this was only 3 years ago in its infancy, just getting the kind of those rebar things put down, and the cement trucks were coming in, and this is literally 3 years ago, so that was about 2015.
Was it three?
2000.
Maybe, yeah, it could be
There and about
3-4
3
years
or 4
thereabouts.
years ago, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, look at the tiles on the floor all coming out.
I mean, it's literally, it could fall over tomorrow.
Yeah, it's in an awful state. Anyway,
We're talking about ghost town.
if you look into the distance,
Yeah,
I mean, the funny thing is, if you look, like, a lot of these places are not even occupied as usual.
of course.
However, all you need to do is look in any direction. I mean, any direction, left or right,
Right.
from here.
Like spin
You-
it around and look.
Yeah, you will be able to see, you know, more ghost cities being built, more
Right.
and more property being built. It boggles the mind because nobody's even moved into these places. They've probably already paid for them as investments.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've got these things running into such bad disrepair, I mean, we got water.
Why are they collecting the water there?
That I have no idea.
Is that for soup?
But if you take a look at the wall behind it, all the tiles have come loose and fallen off.
Look at inside, dude. Come here.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that rear wall.
Yeah.
Are you even joking right
I mean,
now?
the stuff's basically made of cardboard.
The entire wall looks like it's about to collapse back there.
Yeah. I mean, and you do see this. We have seen lots of videos here in China of newly built buildings that will just go down
Yeah.
and everyone
yeah.
dies inside. And it's not reported on the news and stuff. And this is not expose journalism, by the way.
No.
What I'm trying to say is that this happens very, very often. This is very, very common in China. And we're actually in a wealthy province, right?
Yeah, we are.
Now, I want to give these guys an update because we said we would. The update here is that we came back to this very villa that we saw go up.
Yeah.
And it's already falling apart 3 to 4 years later. But the big update is what's kind of happening to the property bubble right now.
Yeah.
I've already seen a couple places in Zhejiang and Jiangsu province that have tanking property prices. And this is an area where they were seeing 1,000% growth. 1,000% growth in property prices now starting to go down.
Yeah.
So it's, the Western media keeps talking about this property bubble in China, and people say, when's it going to stop? When's this going to stop, right? It's absolutely happening right now, for sure.
Sure.
This is not indicative of a property bubble. It is in terms of like there's too much investment flooding in and people are buying these shit properties as investment.
Oh.
But the thing that's actually happening in China now is prices are starting to go down, like I said, but there are hot places like Shenzhen
Yeah.
in Shanghai that don't seem to be slowing down, and they
And
have to at some
The
point.
thing is, everybody says that it's impossible for them to slow down because the government will always step in. The thing is, you know what's happening around us here, specifically these villas and other ones like it here. Because Shenzhen is such an expensive city, people couldn't afford to buy property in
Right,
Shenzhen. So
right.
what they would do is they would buy houses in Huizhou. This is about an hour and a half, hour and 15
I've
minutes
seen a lot of
drive.
Shenzhen plates
Yeah.
on cars.
What they do is they buy their house here, their investment properties, which they come and stay at and then they commute.
Yeah.
But they found out that it just wasn't sustainable. So
Right.
people would buy a place here for say 5, 10 million RMB,
Right.
6 million RMB. And then,
These usually go for about $1 million US.
yeah, then they were finding that they couldn't actually sell them.
Right.
And so the price started to tank.
Right.
And it was in the news probably about a year ago, people were talking about this.
Right.
Man, look at those. Oh man, just look at those, whatever they are, cornices, buttresses, whatever you call those things. They're just falling
I
apart.
actually feel unsafe being here, dude. Like shit could fall off and hit us in the head.
I mean, look at that. That's just like a hollow tube that's got a piece of wire holding it together. It's disgusting. Anyone who's any kind of a construction person is going to look at this and say like, what the actual hell is going on?
Right.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is we wanted to update you because although you've got a lot of these places, dilapidated places, there's still new ones going up all
Everywhere,
around us.
Everywhere. And the thing is, like, we haven't been proven wrong. Like, these new ones,
Yeah?
it doesn't even compare to the building. You remember the place I used to live in, that really shitty building
Yeah.
that was built in, like, 1991 or something?
Sure.
That piece of shit is still standing, right? These
Right.
will not. I
Yeah,
promise you,
yeah.
dude. Like, the building quality compared to even 10 or 20 years ago is getting so cheap because they have to spring these things up, propped up by the government, get the investors in, get the money in, and they're literally making them out of freaking cardboard, like,
Yeah,
or
it's-
whatever wire or shit you just peeled off of the building.
It's pretty awful, but you know, that's what it's all about in China. There's a money grab. People want to make money now. People need an investment vehicle, and property is that. So it's basically just what I've always said about property here in China is that if you're going to buy it as an investment, but be ready to sell it quickly before it all goes down the tubes.
For sure, just like I did.
Yeah, but just whatever you do, don't buy it because you want a nice place, a nice house. It's going to last you
I
a long
regret
time.
it massively, guys.
Yeah.
Like, for real, do not, especially if you're in a relationship with a Chinese woman, you're expected to buy a house.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Buy
No.
it somewhere else. Like, do not do it
Yeah.
here in China. I've never, and I'm not kidding, dude. There are, neighborhoods here that have millionaires, maybe even billionaires coming from Shenzhen that go buy a house, right?
Yeah.
The best ones here are absolute shit.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Piles of shit with cracking walls.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that's it, really.
That's the update. I mean, like, economically, things are on a downturn here in China,
Yeah.
in mainland China, and
Not Shenzhen and Shanghai, places like that. The property prices keep going up.
maybe we'll need another update next year, right?
Absolutely.
But you can already see the downfalls of this, and the scariest thing is that the city that I grew up in, about 200,000 people, the ghost town around this right now, around us,
Yeah.
has a bigger capacity than the place that I grew up in.
Yeah,
Right?
I can
And nobody
imagine.
lives here.
That's
Scary.
it. It is scary. And, well, I guess that's it. Anything you want to tell our subscribers before we sign off?
Whether you are a corporeal being or you are a ghost yourself, I wouldn't recommend living in here. This is going to become squatter territory, and I think it might have. I actually saw some, kind of lower end economically looking people, kind of hanging out
They
around
can
here.
probably even just rent for very cheap because no one's
Probably,
bought.
no one bought it,
Yeah.
right? So they have these broken windows and everything's falling apart. But whether you're one of them or not, I implore you to go downstairs if you want to see more videos like this. Give us a little thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet.
Yeah, and guys, this isn't about being negative and about trying to talk crap.
There's nothing you can say
But
about it, dude.
look at it, right? Property in China is a joke. That's just all I have to say.
There's no
It's
smear campaign here, dude.
It's an investment opportunity for sure, and a lot of people are making a lot of money through it. So there's nothing wrong as far as that's concerned. But just be aware that the quality is bad. A lot of people, they do say that like Vanker or Wanker and Jinji, there's a couple of, like the Wonder Group.
Yeah.
There are a few construction companies that have a very good reputation for having better quality, which you should definitely look into if you want to buy a property here. It
don't
should be
buy a
from one of
house,
those. But Yeah.
That's all I can say. Like, really, it's so transitive right now that you wouldn't end up with your house even.
And another thing which is just stupid is rent is cheap. So if you're renting, for instance, the property that I rent, although I'm getting it at a cheap, let's just say the market value for rent there is about 6,000 RMB, right? The payment on it every month is about 30,000 RMB
Right.
on like a mortgage. So
mortgage,
what's the point?
8,000, rent 1,500.
Yeah. So why would you pay that every month if you could rent it for cheaper and just move if you need
See
to?
when it's gonna fall down.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here, guys.
Yeah, anyway,
enjoyed it.
thanks whether you've invested in property or not. We love you all the same. Don't forget to stay awesome, guys.